trying to use a sandwich thing as a tripod. Okay, this might work. No, not going to work. That's not a very good angle. Okay, that's better? No. Okay, I could just use this, a drink, as a tripod. Look behind me. How beautiful is this? This is winter in Australia. It's actually quite windy actually. I've got a cardigan on and then another jumper on top because it's actually quite cold. Just finished work and I was near this beautiful place that I was here 2 weeks ago, I think. I should take my glasses off. It looks very impersonal when you're talking with glasses on. I just feel like you can't see me, like you look into my eyes. So yeah, I was here 2 weeks ago and we went koala chasing. Not chasing literally, like koala looking. Chasing? Looking? Hunting? No, not hunting. And we saw one. And we did that on the live. It was pretty cool. Will we see one today? I don't know. It's kind of like 50-50. Like, you don't always see a koala in the wild. It's not that common, unfortunately. Because, you know, we're developing so fast here in Australia, in the built-up areas, and that's unfortunately where the koalas live. So, unfortunately, koalas are getting run over by, cars, attacked by animals. Dogs attack koalas, which is really sad, isn't it? But, accidents happen. That's why they say that you should, lock your dog up. Don't let it just run wild, because if they, live near here, they might come here. And at night time, that's when the koalas hunt. They go down and they walk along the ground and then they go up. Because through the day, they can just sleep in a tree. So these trees next to me, these are all gum trees. So the koala likes it. Just flew across the table. My keys and my duck just flew off the table. I am feeling very lazy, guys. Oh my gosh. I was up at 4:30 this morning. Poor me. So if you know me, you know that Dora has been jumping up and down to Tomorrowland, Tomorrowland is this big dance festival in Belgium. And yeah, it's over 2 weekends. So last weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday night in Belgium, which is Saturday morning, Sunday morning and Monday morning. I can watch live on YouTube. So this was the final weekend and this morning was the final night. So the DJ I really wanted to see was on at 4:36 a.m. Yep, a.m. So I set my alarm for 4:30 and then I turned on the TV and it said that the timetable would push back by half an hour. So that's okay, I stayed up. So Dimitri Vegas is the DJ I wanted to see, and he was playing at 4:55 and he was playing vinyl, like, old school, like, records, lead type. I'm feeling really tired. So I thought, you know what, before I go home, and then when I go home, I'm just going to sit in front of the TV or just flake out. I thought, at least I could walk around this park and look for koalas, and I could take you guys with me on the adventure, if that's what you'd like to do. Otherwise, it's fine. You don't have to watch. Yeah. So yeah, I'm tired. I don't say that very often. People listening here in the background be like, what is she on about? So anyway, I'm Dora. I'm Australian. Explorer Dora 80 is my handle So Dora is my alter ego. Explorer means explore. So explore Dora 80. So Explorer Dora. So Dora likes to explore. And 80 means I want to visit 80 countries. And I'm up to country number 53. I don't know what will be country number 53. That's exciting, really. Sorry, 63. So country number 62 was back in May. I went to Luxembourg. So I had a wedding that I was going to in Lyon, in France. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Dora. Parlez-vous English? Merci beaucoup. I know another phrase, but I probably should say that. And piscine means the swimming pool. I always think it was funny. Piscine. Anyway. So yeah, I went to a wedding there, and then I went to Luxembourg because that was country number 62. It was pretty cool. But guys, I have some exciting news, and I'm waiting for more people to come on. I need to do some brainstorming. So in Australia, because I'm Australian, g'day mate, there is a company called Jayco. Now I think there's Jayco all around the world, but there's Jayco Australia. So Jayco is, they do vans, pop-up campers, caravans, and they have a competition / job. You have to apply for the job, but it's like a competition because you have to do a 1-minute video telling them why do you want to be the Jayco RV correspondent, where you want to go, as in like what's your bucket list in Australia, and you've got to make it, interesting for, a minute. So because when you're traveling, if you win this job or you get this job, you basically get given for 1 year the use of a Jayco vehicle, like a van, a pop-up trailer, whatever they decide that's good for you. Personally for me, I don't really want to tow a big caravan. I could probably tow a pop-up one, like a little one. They give you training too on how to, to drive, like to I guess to handle driving with, something on the back, which would be probably handy, to be honest. But I would like a van, because, in a perfect world, you've got to ask for what you want, right? You don't ask, you don't get. So I want to go by myself, even though I do have a partner, Diego, but you get money for one person. So it's not like the two of us can quit our jobs and afford to do that. So it'll just be me, and then I'll come home. So let me go back. So when you're on the road, your job is to be a correspondent. So like, it's Dora here. We are sitting next to a gum tree and looking at a koala and staying tonight in a Jayco. I've got to be a little bit better than that. But, I've got to make reels and videos and shorts and things advertising Jayco, which I think I can do. I think I can, I've been able to come up with some concepts on my own channel. So look, it's pretty popular. A lot of people want this gig because, like, let's face it, who wants to travel Australia and get paid for it? Everyone. So I need to come up with some ideas, brainstorming, and look, it needs to be done. I need to make the video, put a resume in, do an application by the 31st of July. So that's on Thursday night. Nothing's going to happen tonight because I'm dead tired. But I've got some ideas. I put on my local my Facebook to ask my friends for some ideas. And then driving here, I was on the phone to Diego and he had some ideas too. So for example, Jayco is 50 years old. It started in 1975. I'm 50. I was born in 1975. And, I'm chasing, seeing the world. I've, been lucky enough to see 62 countries so far. Still lots to go, but this gig is just about Australia. No, they don't care about, me wanting to go to Iceland, right? That's not my bucket list. I mean, it is my bucket list, but not for this gig. So it has to be Australian because they want me to advertise Jayco for Australian people to then buy a Jayco, right? So anyone listening to this, please don't steal my ideas, okay? I'm just brainstorming here, and I'm hoping that someone will come on and say, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, don't do that, try this and that. So I'm just testing out the ideas with you, and like really, if I say them out loud, I can listen to them and go, crap, that's a really bad idea. So like, for example, yesterday afternoon, I brainstormed for about half an hour all these ideas, right? And I spewed them down on a piece of paper, and then I read them out to Diego. He's like, oh, that's a lot. I said, I wouldn't use them all, but I'm just putting some ideas down. He goes, yeah, but you want to make it really simple too, like, you know, short and simple, but you want to have like a hook, so to speak, because like they're going to put this video on their Jayco site, and I don't think it's not about advertising it to, I'm not like people have to like, you know, vote for it. It's not like that. They will choose the winner, the Jayco people, but they will put it on their, you know, their Instagram page or whatever. So, you know, it has to be half decent. It has to make sense, right? And a minute's a long time too. Like, if you think about it, right? A lot of the shorts we make, they're only like 30 seconds, right? So anyway, this is, there's many ideas that come down, right? And there's not, look, I think there's one person lurking in the background. Could be Jazz, so you could be listening, Jazz. So I'm just going to pretend it's Jazz, because Jazz normally listens in the background when she's working. So these are my ideas, okay? So I want to go to Uluru. So Uluru is the big rock in the middle of Australia, Central Australia. Never been. It's a tourist thing. So that's a pretty good catch. That's a pretty good, like, most backpackers, most tourists come to Australia and they see Uluru. Uluru, formerly known as Ayers Rock. That's what the English word, Ayers Rock, but Uluru is the indigenous name, so we like to call it by the indigenous name. So let's face it, right? If I go travelling in Paris or wherever I go travelling, if I run into a backpacker, they're like, oh, I went to Australia, I went to your country. It's amazing. I saw kangaroos, koalas, and I went to Ayers Rock. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never even been to Ayers Rock. You know, I've been to 62 countries and I've never been to Ayers Rock. See, actually, that's not even a bad one to say. You know, it's how when I say 62 countries, I do start thinking like, you know, that's a lot of countries, and, you know, are you full of yourself, Dora, or what? But hey, that's a good one. Okay, I'm going to write this down, okay? Got my spare phone here. What did I say, guys? The good thing is, right? Oh. I could rewatch this video, right, to see what it said. Where's my notes? Okay, notes, continue. Okay, what did I say? Can someone tell me what I said? I said, I've been to 62 countries, but I've never been to Ayers Rock. There's a song like that. Cities that never close. I've been sure it's by Stephen Williams. I need to wait for my mate Paul. Paul D. Australia, please come on, because you'll know that song. I've been to cities that never closed down. That never closed down. From New York to London, to old London town, to New York, old, old London town. Okay, so I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to blah blah. I don't know. There's a place in there to old London town, but for blah blah blah, I still call. Still call Australia. Oh my god, that's a brilliant. So the concept would be, right, since I have been to New York, I have been to London, and I think I'm sure Sydney goes in there too. So I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to London to old Sydney. No, from New York to Sydney to old London town. But how far? Doesn't matter how far wide I. This is really bad, guys. Doesn't matter how far wide I travel, I still call Australia home. Oh my god, guys! Okay, whoever's listening to this, please don't steal my idea. This is a really good idea. Okay, so that's the song. We know the song. So I just turned 50. Jaco was 50. So I've been to 62 countries. It's time to travel in Australia, right? So that's why I want the job, because I want to travel in Australia. And Jaco's going to pay me for that. I just need to say that in a nice way, on a reel, or on a short, whatever you want. And hey guys, that worked. So these are the other ideas I had. Paul! Oh, you need to block the wind. Oh, okay. Did you hear me? How do I block the wind? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay. Paul, do you know the song? Okay, that's cool. So Paul, this is brilliant. I was just saying, I'm waiting for my friend Paul to come on because, oops. Okay, Paul, I want to apply for a job for Jaco. So you know Jaco Motor Vehicles and pop-up campers, right? They have a job / competition. If you win, you get the use of a pop-up trailer or a caravan or whatever they're going to give you. Depends on the person that applies. For 1 year, they pay for all the things and they pay you a salary. But in return, you have to do content, right? So they're looking for someone to be creative, tell stories, be able to video, and make it. And what you have to do is you do a 1 minute video. And in the 1 minute video, you need to say, why do you want to be they call it Jaco RV correspondent, and where do you want to go? And literally just here, talking to myself, literally, I came up with this idea. So Diego, actually, I've been brainstorming all day. I put it on my Facebook, and then all my friends have given me lots of ideas too. I've got an idea too, but my ideas are full on, right? And you want to make it nice and simple, right? So, can you hear this, Paul? Am I rabbiting on way too much? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So, my idea is, Paul, and now remember, this is just brainstorming, right? I don't know how I'm going to say this in a video or what I'm going to do, but I've been to 62 countries, but I've never been to Uluru. So Uluru is my bucket list in Australia. And I wanted to use the song, because then I started singing, I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to something, to old London town, blah blah, but no matter how far we roam, we still call Australia home. So can you tell me the name of This phone is just like, yeah, it's just about taking photos. So I just need the words because I've been to New York, I've been to London town, and I'm sure it says Sydney in it, and I've been to Sydney. Isn't it by Stephen Williams? Can you possibly just Google, you know the song I'm talking about, hey? I'm not singing it very well, but I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to something. Yeah, still called Australia home. But can you put the words for me in the chat? Because that kind of makes sense, right? I've travelled a lot. Yes, I know my goal is 80 countries. I haven't given up on that goal. But for 1 year, let's travel Australia. But I just thought that is a brilliant song to bring back the fact that I'm going to come back to Australia and travel. I'm really curious about the words. The song, I still call Australia home. Such a good song too. Oh, and by the way, how are you, Paul? Sorry, I'm being a bit rude there. Didn't even say hello. As you see, I'm back at the lake, Bullocky. What do you call it? Bullocky Lake? Reserve? Creek. Bullocky Creek? So Jazz, if you're in the background, do you love the brainstorming? How's that? Who comes and does a live and just does a brainstorm dump? A brain dump, I call it. So good to do a brain dump. Using words from the song would not be original, I don't think. That is a good idea. Yeah, no, that's okay. But could you put the name, like the cities in there? Because like obviously the background music's going to be that song. I'm going to do voiceover on the top of it. But I can say, I have been to London. Okay, well, maybe I'll sing on top of it. That'll be bad. I'm just using maybe I don't use the song, but I could use the words on another song. And all Australians know that song, right? Still call Australia home, even though I just don't know the cities right there. I just don't know. Yeah, I just need I'm sure it goes. I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to Rio. I'm sure it had Sydney. New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far and wide I roam, because I've roamed, I still call Australia home. But I could change the words by using the song and just change the words. Maybe not sing it, because I'm not a good singer. But is that not at least creative? I'm not using their words. I'm just using the concept. I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to Rio, okay, and old London town. But no matter how far and how wide I roam, I still call Australia home. Perfect, okay. And I've been to Rio too. Okay, that's cool. So let me just take a photo of that. So Paul, thank you for that. How are you? What have you been up to today? Is it still really windy? If I go like this, you can look at my double chin. Hi. Here you go. That's so funny. I've been sitting here just talking to myself, brainstorming, saying this is great because I can download this video later on and then I can, get the notes. And you're saying that you can't even hear it because, the wind. It's hilarious. I have a feeling there's a delay also in when I say things until when people send messages. I don't know if it's my phone lately. but there seems to be a bit of a delay. Okay, I probably should start walking, hey? That was my whole idea, this walk, was to go walking. Got rained on my walk, so been adding videos to my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, what have you been adding? What kind of videos? It's not Wednesday, but you're adding some more in there in general. Oops. Okay, let's take this to the bin. And then let's go koala chasing. Can you see me? I mean, can you hear me while I'm walking? Or is it really that windy? The last time I was here I had the same issue, didn't I? People didn't like the scratchy noise that my headphones were making. We'll turn it around, hey? Where are we? Oh, that's my phone, my sunglasses. Scheduling. God, you're good at this scheduling stuff, Paul. So I just scheduled a live. I never schedule lives, right? I scheduled a live. I'm doing a live with Kathleen's place, the Canadian lady that sometimes is on our chat. We're going to do a art chat. Well, we're going to do art. Like I'm going to do, you know how when I travel, I like to do a little art painting. So, and I'd like to do that when I'm home too. So anyway, she wants to get back into art. So I said, okay, well, how about we just do a live and we can just, have a chat and see what happens. Hey, Zufi, how you going? Meet Paul. This is Paul D Australia, and I'm Dora, also from Australia. Where are you from, Zufi? Good morning. So you're from the Northern Hemisphere, because it is afternoon here in Australia. So we're going to go look for some koalas, if you're interested in that, Zufi. I'll show you what we're looking at. Up these trees is a koala somewhere. But we're just going to put our stuff away. So, if you bear with us, we're going to go koala hunting. Last time I came here 2 weeks ago, we saw one koala. All right. Actually, yeah. Okay. Can you hear me okay, guys? I hear there's a bit of wind, I know that, but can you hear me? I don't actually have my speaker thing with me. All right, let's start. So these are not trees that you would find koalas. Yep, that's a good one. Let me screenshot that one, Paul. There we go. So, you know how I'm full on. I'm into everything and everything, okay? I'm a lot, right? So here's my idea. This is my original idea yesterday. Okay, we're going to be looking for koalas while we do this. Nothing. That's the koala tree if you're not Australian. Well, we don't call it the koala tree, but it's a gum tree. A eucalyptus tree. There's lots of eucalyptuses, different kinds, but they only like a certain type of eucalyptus. I couldn't tell you what it is off the top of my head. But is there a koala up there? Nope. So Paul, this was my idea yesterday, brainstorming like all these ideas, okay? So my idea was I want to go to Uluru, the Red Rock. I want to see not just Red Rock. I want to see Kings Canyon. You haven't been out there either? I think we've talked about this before, haven't we? You haven't been out there either, have you? But, I've heard that Kings Canyon is supposed to be even more spectacular than Ayers Rock. So anyway, I was out one day and I was at the local library, and they'd have puzzles out, and guess what the puzzle was? It was Red Rock, Uluru. So I thought, thinking ahead, because I can't stay alive, or thinking ahead of what if I used the puzzle like, here I am, trying to do a puzzle, and I'm showing the picture of the Red Rock. Instead of doing a puzzle, how about we go visit Red Rock, the Red Rock? Anyway, I was kind of somehow going to tie it into that. So I'd be walking along Redcliffe. So obviously you see my beach I walk at, but there's actually, the reason why Redcliffe is called Redcliffe is because we've got red cliffs, hence Redcliffe. So I was going to walk through the red cliffs, hold the phone up so the red cliffs are behind me, and go something along the lines of, again, words aren't not right now. Like, I love my red cliffs to Redcliffe, but it's time for a change. I'd love to see, the biggest rock in the world, Uluru. But it just doesn't sound very exciting, right? So that was my idea. And then I had the other idea that Diego could chuck some water on me. So I'm walking along, doing that little spiel, and then like a whole thing of water comes on me to make it like a hook or, something interesting to watch. But I couldn't figure out why someone would chuck water at me. Like, I'm not a fish out of the water. So you can see, and then Diego's like, keep it simple, stupid. Right? So you're probably going, yeah, Dora, you do complicate things. Okay, like I'm doing a live right now looking for koalas. I'm brainstorming. Actually, I came here to brainstorm. And hey, I'm doing it. I'm brainstorming. This is a new age of brainstorming, guys. We are koala hunting while I brainstorm ideas with my mate Paul. And you never know. If we see a koala, maybe the koala might be in the video too. Who knows? Okay, so the other ideas, Paul, that someone has given me, again, I went to Facebook. So guys, we are looking for koalas as I ramble about my story. I'm applying for a job with a company called Jayco Australia, and they supply vans and trailers and caravans. So the idea is that they would give me one to use for 1 year, and I have to create content around it. But I have to, first of all, come up with a 1-minute video on why I should get the job and where I want to go, and make it an interesting video to show, like, how I can, make videos and be creative and tell stories. So these ideas that came from Facebook, right? You know how I like to jump around? Yes, Paul, very good idea. Paul's got here, you need to include something about being able to see the outback areas and not just sitting in Melbourne. Of course, yes. Well, maybe it could be like, I've been to cities that never closed down, like New York to Rio and Old Sydney town. But the outback is where I want to go. I still call Australia. I don't know. It's an outline, right, Paul? It's an outline. I just need to fill in the gaps. So this is the idea. My friends have said something about how I should do, like, I want to, do a jumping for joy, like, how I do the jumps around all the big things in Australia, like the big rock. I've got jumps already of like the big banana, the big mango, all these big things already. But, that could be another thing, just be funny. And people have said, don't try to be too inventive because, you're already funny and, you're already who you are. Can you imagine the koala up there to be just swinging around? Imagine that, it's really throwing it around. It's really quite windy, guys. So this is like the westerly winds that we get up this time of year. Bloody hell, imagine the koala in that tree. It's just like leaning over. Crazy, crazy, bloody crazy, man, crazy. Okay. Okay, another idea was to talk about all the different things in the outback that I could see, like, Kings Canyon, all the places, and that you need to have a reliable vehicle. So that's why I need a Jayco. Oh, that's the other thing, Paul, to mention something like, Jayco's 50 years old, so is, Dora. It's time for her to travel at home. That's another kind of thing that was chucked in there because, I've done a bit of research. Like, when you do an interview, right, you're supposed to research the company you're going for, right, and talk about... So that was a tree that the koala was in last week, guys, or 2 weeks ago. He's not in there now. He's not there. You're supposed to do some research and know some facts. So I'm thinking, right, as a good little interviewer, because that's, what I've done for a living is got people jobs and, help people get jobs, is I always say to people, do your research on the job you're applying for. Know a bit about the company. So, like to add in there, I'm like Jayco, 25, 50 years old. We both like to adventure. Well, it's true. We both like to adventure, right? This is probably now really windy, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to block out all the wind. Oh, it's windy down this way. Okay, so Paul's made a point. Don't forget, people who use Jayco, possibly from overseas visitors, they need to be convinced to travel is a good way to go. So it's actually, that's true, but they're actually saying they want the idea that you're marketing to Australians because they want, like, pretty much, let's face it, people over 30 that can afford a Jayco, because in their 20s they probably can't afford a Jayco. So they're looking for, 30s plus, the grey nomad, so to speak, that can afford to buy a Jayco. So to add in there, people are saying about, add in there that, how you like to travel. Yeah, anyway. I was going to add in there something funny like, travel's not just, travel in Australia is not just for the grey nomads, but I've got a bit of grey here. That could be funny. Okay, let's go koala hunting. Koalas. Nope. So these trees in here normally are the ones where they have the koalas too. Is there any poo? That is koala poo, guys. That is koala poo. Koala poo. You gotta look up high. Look up high. High. My God, I don't know if you remember this, Paul, but last time I was here, remember this animal was still here? It's not, I'm sure it's not a koala. It's still there. That's not a koala, but I reckon it's a possum or something. Hi from India. You're on the live with Dora, who's Australian. And then there's Paul D, that's in the chat, he's Australian. And we're trying to figure out, that's not a koala. We're looking for a koala, but that's not a koala. That's I reckon it's a possum. So we're going to try to find you a koala. Have you seen a koala before? In Australia, you could be lucky. No, not lucky, but you know, you can see them. They are around. You just got to go looking for them up here. They're not down here. They're up here. That's a big gum tree. And it's cold, guys. It's really windy. That's why it's windy. You can't hear me very well. Whoops. And they're easily disguised too, because it's grey, they're grey, you know, and I'm kind of interested in this brainstorming idea right now. So my head's about ideas for this job I'm going to apply for, than looking for a koala. But, you know, I'm still going to walk around and have a look. I've had a bit of an annoying day, Paul. Actually, it's not been annoying. It's self-inflicted. I was up at 4:30 a.m. listening to DJs live from Belgium. So that was the third day in a row that I've been doing that. So I'm tired. I just need to go to bed, to be honest. But I knew that if I went home now from work, I would just probably sit in front of the TV. So I thought, at least if I walk around here, I could get some exercise walking around. I just thought I saw one, guys. Okay, that's a really good idea, Paul. So Paul's got here. Okay, then include the line, whether you're Australian or overseas visitor, travel the country by JCO. Yes, I'm screenshotting that, Paul. Yeah, because obviously, you know, Australians come here and they do buy like vans. Even though they're not Australian, they do buy vans, especially Chinese people, you know, people that are cashed up. You know, they can afford to buy a Jayco because Jaycos aren't exactly cheap. The sun will set. I don't think we're going to wait for the sunset today because it's cold. That's a bloody big tree. So we are looking for koalas. And this is the koala action, right? When you're looking for koalas, this is what you do. It's really good for women and to have like a long neck. So go koala hunting like this. But I very doubt the koala will be down here because these trees are a bit smaller. But you should just look anyway. You just never know. I should probably look what I'm doing on the ground, not fall down the hill. Okay, there's a few other sections to check, guys. I'm not giving up. Actually, let's look at this tree here because this is the one that I saw yesterday, last 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. This is the tree I saw him in. Her or him. He was right up there, swaying around. Okay. I think we've exhausted this little area. Could be time to go to another area on the other side. Yes, Paul, I could use ChatGPT. I haven't used it yet, but that is the next thing. When I want my words, probably I will start doing that. I just want to come up with a concept because I just think that, you know, if we all use ChatGPT, then we'll all be using kind of somewhat similar ideas or, you know. And then I get beaten by someone that used ChatGPT. But, you know, it's not just about the video, obviously. It's also about, you know, my experience too. So they're wanting someone that has some experience traveling, someone that's, you know, knows how to use a camera, how to edit, those kind of basic things. So I can talk about that. I have to, not in the video though, but in the application, they want you to put down like, you know, how many people subscribe to you, all those things. And I guess they're probably going to look at your videos too. So yeah, great. All my videos are like dancing with Dora at the moment. They'll be like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? She's like middle-aged and she's dancing like a lunatic. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Now, I have seen them over this side too. But most times I see them down there. But Paul, you've got that, the idea of using, you know, that song as a base is not a bad idea. Because, I mean, let's face it, you know, I have travelled to those places and I still call Australia home, and I need to travel my own backyard, don't I? But I also have to come up with an idea of like how I want to film it, because I'm running out of time. It has to be done by the end of this month, so like Thursday night, 11:59 has to be put in. And look, you know what, I could be wasting time because there's probably lots of other people out there that's going to apply. But, you know, you got to be in it to win it. You know, and it is what it is. It's a competition. It's fair for everyone, like Lotto. Like, you know, if you buy a ticket, you could win. And who knows what they're looking for, you know? They might not be looking for someone that's got all the big subscribers, right? They might not looking for someone that's, you know, 20-something. Maybe they're looking for someone older, I don't know. You know, maybe they might even take someone that's, you know, 70, who knows? Because I bet you any money, a 70-year-old travelling around Australia, you know, a Jayco, will sell vans because they'll be talking about their experiences. Oh. Sometimes behind here, in these kind of trees behind here, you see them. God, I just thought I saw one then. But it wasn't, it was a branch. I thought I saw its bottom. Oh. I've had, well, not have I had a bad day. I've had a really good day actually, Paul. Really good day, but I think I'm exhausted, and I really just felt like coming here and seeing a koala and just, you know, pretending to hug it. Not that I would hug it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, getting that wildlife cutie rush. Anyway, 2 birds, 1 stone. I also wanted to brainstorm and, you know, talk to you guys about my idea. And thank you, Paul. You've been very, very insightful. And you still are. No, definitely I won't use it word for word. I'm just kind of coming up, I need to come up with like the outline, and I think that might be a really good idea. That song is the outline, and then I fill in the gaps. Like I said, I've got to use the song as a background, right, for the video. But I'm going to be using like my own voice in the video by filming it. And then also, like, obviously I can't go to Rio and Sydney and Old London Town right this minute, but I've been to those places. So I don't have videos, but I have pictures. So I can somehow incorporate that with the voice over the top. And maybe I can find a version of that song that actually doesn't have the words in it. So I'm just saying the words, you know, similar words, like a limerick. Oh my God, I've got to be talking about a limerick? I don't know. Paul, you're like, oh, what the hell? All right, I don't know. Am I even going to bother giving? I don't think koalas are around today. They're hiding from me today. You know, you can't always guarantee you see them. But I've got to say, just walking around, I do feel better. Just being in nature. Whoops, car. Oh, yeah. He's going around to the sunset point section. Well, guys, I think I'm giving up on a koala at this present moment. Unless there's one in here. Whoops, a car coming. Don't use it word for word. Yeah, of course. I'm not. Don't worry, Paul. I will run it by you. My assistant, right? Hey, actually, Paul, do you have your email in your bio? I was actually going to email you the other day about something. Don't worry, Paul. I wasn't going to invite you onto a live to do a dance or anything like that. It was just something completely different I wanted to tell you about. Ooh, yes. Okay, those kind of words. Let me screenshot that. Okay, yep. Make it very Australian. Like, you know, I would like to go out to like, for example, right? This is one of my goals, Paul, and this has not got anything to do with the camper van, but anyway, you know, one of my goals this year was to go like on an overnight hike with a backpack and like, you know, do a tent setup, you know, and, you know, boil a billy tea and that kind of thing. So from that concept, I'd be like, you know, I could somehow add in there. I mean, this is getting a much, I'm adding a lot here, right? But, you know, so I've got a minute, right? And I don't have to talk about it. I could show a picture of it, or I could, a video of it. Like, I don't actually have, I could use, what do you call it? Stock videos and stuff like that. But like, how cool would this be, right? Dora the Explorer out in her van in the middle of nowhere, right? Boiling, you know, having a cup of tea, a little fire, roasting a marshmallow. How Australian is that? A billy tea. Maybe I can make a damper. I can say, hey, maybe I'm going to learn how to make a damper. Yes, all about ideas right now. Anyway, so I've got to hurry these ideas up. So that's why I was doing this live, to get some brainstorming happening. Okay, we haven't found a koala, but that's okay. And it might be a nice sunset, but we're not going to stay around for the sunset. We're definitely going to go home. Anything on for tomorrow, Paul? Okay, that's a show Jumbuck drinking from a billabong, yes. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing. It's very nice through here. Anyway, maybe I missed the koala, maybe he's there and I missed him. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We know it's there. I'll leave my jumper on. I had a bottle of water somewhere. Oh, there it is, there. This is the back of my car. It's just full of crap. Water. We need water. Water. All right, Paul. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing some ideas with me and brainstorming with me. Thank you for helping me with the name of the song, or like the words of the song, should I say. And yes, I won't plagiarize. But it can be creative to use that song and put my own spin on it. True? So, Paul, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, Auf Wiedersehen, adios, ciao, arrivederci, or good day, mate. Bye, mate.